ATB TV, I'm Darren Dance here with Peter Morganti on Friday morning. Quiet week at the racetrack for us coming up, but we had a massive week last weekend. Not a lot of joy there, but some very, very big runs that we're pretty proud of, and just a lot of bad luck, I guess, but we'll go through them individually, Pete. So where do we go back to? Who was our first runner?
Righto, we'll go to Sydney, Southern France, Sydney Cup. Obviously we went in there high hopes. I don't think he could have been ridden too much better. Like it panned out nicely. He's only finished 8th. He's a bit of a quirky horse, I reckon, Darren. I think we had a bit of a chat after it that he doesn't like horses coming around him. You could sit back in hindsight and say maybe McDonald should have let, I can't remember what the horse was, go around him and then follow him up and get to the outside. But look, it was a disappointing result, and it sort of, it left us pretty empty because we went in there with good hopes.
Well, there was a big rap on the horse from the stable, and he was third favourite in the betting, and the rating said if he ran up to his Tancred race he'd be winning. But look, there's a number of things I could say about the whole thing, but I think without taking up too much time, Pete, and just summarising it, yes, it was disappointing. As far as I'm concerned, the jury's out on this horse. I've got my doubts about whether, one, he can run a genuine 2 mile, given the way we run 2 mile races here where they go slow and they have to build. I'm wondering whether this horse is a better horse 2400 off a hotter tempo where he can swoop down the outside. I agree with your point. As soon as a horse gets to his outside, if you watch the replay, first thing he does is start to lug in, and sort of you can see his eye looking at the horse on his outside, and he looked intimidated and raced accordingly. Yeah, we could let the OTI horse, the eventual winner, go around us, and we could follow it into the race, probably run 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. But that's racing. But the jury's out on that horse. I wouldn't be rushing up to have another bet on him. And I'm not talking from my pocket because I didn't back him, because I've said all along, until I see him to do it on the racetrack, I'm not really convinced that he's 100% genuine over 2 mile. And maybe he's a 2400 get back run on. Now the program will be he'll go to Brisbane. And he'll have 3 runs there over 2024 and 3200 at this stage. And I think by the end of those 3 runs, we're going to know exactly what we got and where we are.
Agree. Yep. Interesting, and it was the way the Sydney Cup was, the way the field unfolded. I think the top 10, 8 of them carried 50. I think us and the chosen one were 55. You know, we earned our weight, and I suppose the chosen one has, but you certainly, it's one of the true handicaps where if you've got a horse that's coming through and you can get into the right weight, you can be winning those type of races, and especially horses that, you know, they've shown that they can run the trip, whereas the question mark with us is we haven't ran the trip yet.
No. One thing I will say, and it's a minor point, but I fail to understand how the winner of a Sydney Cup is not an automatic inclusion into the Melbourne Cup.
It's ridiculous.
You know, a Group 1 2 mile race in Australia, and it doesn't get you into the Melbourne Cup. So that horse, the OTI horse, now has to still qualify. I find that ridiculous. And in this day and age, where we've got Australian racing, the border walls are still up.
Yeah.
And that horse has got a spell now and qualify for Melbourne. I think it's ridiculous.
Especially when you can run a place overseas and be qualified.
Yeah, it passes
certain races.
Yeah, that race passes a ballot clause, but it in my mind, you know, it should get you into the Melbourne Cup.
Especially if you want to promote stayers in Australia. I reckon it's what the 2nd best 2 mile race in Australia. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You know, should be close.
If we won that race and that didn't get us into the Melbourne Cup, I don't think I'd be too impressed either.
No. Anyway, so that's Southern France. So mid-June, I think he'll be back racing again as the program unfolds. We'll go to Caulfield, where that was a bit of an indifferent day. We'll start with Connery, who went there for the sake of getting a run under his belt, and I thought, as much as he ran at 11th, it was as good a first up run that he's put in for a couple of years.
Look, first up, I thought he went enormous. I know he tired late, just ran out of gas, but look, he showed he wanted to still be a racehorse. He showed he was fit and well, and his action was terrific, and he presented well on the corner, but just ran out of puff. And that was the whole idea, is getting that run under his belt, so that if he does go to Warrnambool, you know, he's had that run under his belt, because it's pretty much impossible to win first up at Warrnambool anyway, as we've learned over the last 10 years.
Yep.
So it's important to get that run under your belt. Yeah, if he goes to Warrnambool, he's not a big horse and he's going to have to carry a lot of weight and he's going to have a claimer on him, and it's going to make it really, really difficult. But at the end of the day, he needs a wet track, and he's got a great record at Warrnambool. So we'll see what Archie wants to do, but at this stage, you know, he's on track for his second up run.
Just talking to the stable, they're looking at, if you're looking for a 3 kilo apprentice, it's hard in Victoria because most of them are well into their claim, but Will Price's young brother Ben is an option who may come over, and he claims 3, so we'll see what unfolds there. Capriccio, barrier 1, I think we always thought it was going to be a bit tricky. Finished 9th, was only beaten 3.5. Yeah, just didn't work out. Plans going forward, I think now revolve around a race about 5 weeks down the track that Daniel's looking at, but the plotted plan prior is a little bit unsure at the moment.
Well, look, her run was okay. Barrier 1, the way I read the race was, you know, tried to do the right thing, trying to follow the right horse, but you could just see in the straight when he was trying to angle out, she seemed to be reluctant to come out and take that gap, whether it's because it was only a 5th start and she's still learning and still not mentally ready, but she just seemed a little bit reluctant to take the gap. You could see he sort of had the rein and had her head on the side, but she wouldn't present forward. And then I thought of the 200, you know, the 6 weeks between runs told, and she dropped out late. Yeah. But she would have had a good blow, she would have come through that. I know he was toying with the idea of throwing a nom in for the Wangoon, which I wouldn't have had a problem with. She probably won't get a run because of her rating, but yeah, the races, the Adelaide program's off, rightly so, but he's just got to find a race at Flemington, which is 5 weeks away. She probably needs a run in between. Yeah. She lost no admirers with that run. She'll be a good price again next start, and she's going to go bang and win one of these at 12 to 1.
I think she's, and I was talking to Daniel on the way, she's a horse where you need to leave her alone early and come with that run. She got a terrific turn of foot.
No different to a mother.
Yep. The good story, the big result without winning was Literary Magnet, and what a story for the owners. It was a terrific run, just without thinking about the prize money she earned, because she was wide, she kept giving, she ran second, the winner won well, but she earned her connections $180,000 for running second.
Yeah, well, she's had 2 starts and won 205 grand. Not bad for a horse that cost 135. Matty Williams and Dean Yindle have done a great job. Disappointing not to win, but the winner, Finance Tycoon's probably a Group 1 horse. Had form in the Blue Diamond. We've had 2 starts, green as grass, knows nothing. She's going for a break now. I think it's the right call. Get her back in the spring, and she can be a serious player in the spring.
Yep.
I thought Dean rode her particularly well. He was nice and aggressive on her. She gave him a hard time in the straight. Funny thing was, there was a senior racing official at Terang in the marquee on Sunday and said, Literary Magnet should have won. It was a terrible ride. And I said, well, why don't you just turn around and tell the jockey that? And he looked, and Yendel was standing next to him. He said, shit. He said, shit, next time before I open my mouth, I'm going to look down.
Dean was obviously suspended, or he
took the suspension.
Took the suspension after her run, which
she was enormous, and congratulations to all the owners. Going to have a ton of fun with her over the next 12 months.
70,000 in credit already on the purchase price, so it's all ahead of her. So
that's great.
No, good result. Our other runner for the day was probably the one we were all, it was $1.50 chance in the end.
They get beat, don't they? Odds on Fox.
But her run, take away who she is, take away the price, it was enormous. If it was any other horse by the favourite, I reckon they'd be going, this thing's $2 for the Oaks in 2 weeks' time. But look, she's beat 3/4. Probably come down the part of the track that was highlighted that might have been a little bit worse than the rest of the track. Yeah, look, she was terrific in defeat.
Well, you don't like getting beat any time, but $1.50, everyone thinks you're going to win, and sometimes it doesn't happen. But anyway, she went back to last. She was tailed off, and she tried to swoop around on the bend. The rail out 10 didn't help because the turn was very sharp. She copped the check there, which she probably lost at length, but at the end of the day, she ran enormous. I'd love to see what the sectionals were. I haven't looked, but they'd have to be enormous. She lost no fans there. Some ways getting beat, Pete, it
takes a bit of pressure
takes
off.
the pressure off. She opened up $5 in the Australasian Oaks on the 1st of May. I see she's into 4s. She'll probably start 3s if she draws well.
Yeah.
There's a little sneaky horse coming over from Tasmania that's won 7 out of 7 by Night of Thunder that goes pretty good. That'll be our main competition.
Yeah.
It looks well seasoned, well rounded, and it looks to be hard to beat. But look, she's only had 3 runs now. She's still on the way up. You know, Jai was kicking himself.
Yeah.
He had 2 options. One was to drop out and swoop round, or to pick through the field. And I suppose, you know, the pressure these jockeys are under, not just from owners, but generally on social media. If they put in a bad one, they cop a spray from everyone in the world. And he probably did cop a spray anyway, but his other option was to try and pick through the field. And when you're on $1.50 pop, if you get hemmed in or they don't let you through or you can't get a run, you look like a mug. And he's probably played the percentages, gone for the one that he thought she'd just pick him up and put him away. But that check on the corner cost her. So once he was back there from that gate, he was in a no hope position, and she's done enormous. Like, she was entitled just to whack away and get beat 3. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the Oaks. Hopefully she can get the right run and show everyone just really what she's got, and we can put her away for the spring.
I think the read on the track might have been correct too, because the ones that were inside sort of looked like we're going to go past them. They all kept kicking, so she lost no admirers.
No, well, we had a jockey Texas, a rival jockey Texas, and just said she was enormous, and she went past him in the straight like he was going nowhere, and he'd walked the track in the lane she came down. He, in his opinion, was no good. We weren't there, we don't know, but we can only go on what they say. But for a jockey to text me, a rival jockey, and said she was enormous, you're going to have a lot of fun, I think that's pretty good.
And he had other rides on the day where all his draws were wide. They were all the same result. Yep. Righto, so that was Saturday. On Sunday, I've got down here 4 runners, is that right? No, we also had Raise the Colours in the same race at Adelaide. Yeah.
Ran last, did it?
Ran last. Paul Pushka put his hand up and said, look, probably didn't get that right. Blinkers on, he said, was one thing, and it was a roll of the dice to throw at the stumps, and we missed by 10 yards.
10?
110. But she's now in the paddock, so well-earned spell. She's a filly with good staying potential. We haven't even got her out near trips where we know that she'll relish being a Raise the Flag, but it was a good little eye-opening prep.
Yeah, well, I said to Paul on Sunday, he was apologising for half an hour, and I said, look, it's easy for us to be critical on Sunday. You know, you made a decision to go there. She's the 3-year-old once. If she goes there and runs a nice race, everyone's happy. She was coming off a little setback. Rarely works out, but she was over-raced with blinkers on and knocked up late and pulled up shin sore. So that's just put a line through her, forget she went round, and put her away now for 8 weeks and get her ready for the, I don't know, later in the year.
Yeah, well, she'll be a
going to have 8
4-year-old
weeks
mare.
off. She won't be ready till Christmas.
Yep. But she certainly shows enough.
She's got plenty of ability. And
she's a funny Raise the Flag because she's got tactical speed, so it'd be interesting to see how all that plays out in the end. But yeah, look, a win on the board early as a 3-year-old with a Raise the Flags.
No, she's
probably
got
not
potential.
a bad result. Righto, now we can go to Sunday where we had bit of an owners gathering.
Royal Terang.
Royal Terang
was treated like royals.
Yeah, we were given the #1 spot.
Yeah, well, between the bookies ring and the committee room.
Yeah, and handed a fistful of beer tickets.
2 fistfuls, I think.
Which I've used one myself and handed the rest out. Felt like the Santa.
It was a terrific day. They do a great job at Terang, and congratulations to Wayne Johnson and all the committee down there.
Karen, all that,
A couple of people there involved in Literary Magnet and a number of others, southern France. So they're a good racing fraternity, Terang, and we always love going down there. It's one of the best tracks in the state.
Yeah.
With that big straight, and the weather held off. It was pretty good for the day, and the Cup was an exciting race.
Not for us.
No.
It was a good race, wasn't it?
It was a good race.
Yeah.
And
that's as strong a field as I've had for a while too.
Yeah, there was an odds-on favourite there that, I don't know if it ran 3rd or 4th. But Maddie Raymond got the winner.
With Damien Lane
She's done a great job. Damien Lane sneaks down for one ride.
$14 chance.
Gets the Cup at $14 and not one mug had a bet on it.
We all look at each other afterwards and go, D Lane. Yeah.
What was he doing?
Yes.
Anyway, it was a great day. Really enjoyed it. And it was good to get back to the races, and we had a heap of clients there. They were having a ball. They just loved being at the races. drinking champagne and betting on horses. They were in their element. It was like kids at their first go at kindergarten, wasn't it?
Well, I'm just trying to think back to the last sort of function. Would be our Christmas function.
The year before.
Year before.
Yeah, so it's probably 18 months coming up.
So, anyway, it was good to see
let's hope
regular faces.
Hopefully we can do more of that. But,
Talking of the Cup, you might as well go to Naval Warfare first. He's bludgeoning on us at the moment.
He didn't try a yard, Pete.
No. What was he?
How far did he get, Pete?
10.
Did he?
I would say it'd have to be, wouldn't it? Yeah. 10. Recovery was...
there was no recovery.
So he hasn't tried.
His heart rate was 85 post-race. His heart rate, normally a horse would be what, 140?
Yeah, 30 or 40, yeah.
He's gone around there just having a lend of us, and he's been doing that every race he's had for us.
Rattled the cage time.
Well, I think we've bought a non-trier. There's no doubt we've bought a non-trier here. Don't know what they were doing down at Freedman's to get him run second to Sin to win, but he's dropped off about 20 lengths on that form since we've got him.
And that was only November last year.
So we got Lindsay Smith's got to sort it out, and he's going to front up in the 23.50 on Tuesday at Warrnambool, and Lindsay will school him and blinker him up, I think.
It's a huge drop in class back to 78.
He needs a huge drop in class, but I'm not...
No.
I'm very, very disappointed that a horse with that sort of form's doing this to us, and I feel sorry for the owners that put their money in. But anyway, Lindsay said his future might be up for the hurdles.
I think.
I don't know if he's got a hurdle licence, Lindsay. Did you find out?
No, I didn't. But they have 16 hurdle schools and what do you call all that today. There was a bit of talk about getting his ticket while he's jumping okay, because apparently they're pretty easy to get the tickets if you can jump. So
well, he's going to run Tuesday at Warrnambool. Disappointing. I'm not holding my breath. But he can run Tuesday. If he reverses his form, he can go into the Cup, but otherwise he'll be going to the trials and over the jumps, get his ticket, and then we'll sit down with the owners and sort out what you want to do.
Yep. Dandy Classic ran in the 1850 metre maiden. Ran an even race. Certainly showed that that's going to be her go once we get to 2000. Unfortunately, sort of at the end of the prep, so a break has come. But yeah, she ran 6th or 7th. She was only beaten 1.5. And at one stage there at the 100, she was actually pushing through again, but the first 3 or 4 come down sort of the crown of the track, and she was just inside him. But look, she settled nicely, she ran on nicely, she went like a dead set style.
Yeah, she's teased us all prep, really.
Yeah.
Running well without winning. She's teased us all prep, so Paul said to me before the race she's probably at the end, but he wanted to give her this run because he wanted to put her out on a good note.
Yeah.
Because she went to stall and he said that was a bit of a muck up, and he wasn't happy there, so he wanted to take her to train just to give her a good experience before he turned her out. So she's come home now for a good break. And I think you'll find next prep she'll start first up over a mile, and she'll be in a peak at 2,400. So he's still got good raps on her, he still likes her, but it's just for the owners it's difficult when they don't win a race in their first prep, and stayers can do that. So anyway, let's hope next prep she comes back better and more tractable, and maybe we find the right races for her, Pete. You're just going to have to keep an eye on the programming.
And I think the big track just showed that, you know, into a rhythm, breathing properly. You look at her form guide next time in, and you're going to be beating 3 lengths at Swan Hill, you know, 5 lengths at Ballarat, 3 or 4 lengths at Stall, and then less than a length. It's
the big track.
It shows that, you know, she's got the ability. We just, you know, and like you said, Paul will get her right for a mile. You get quickly to those 2,000 beyonds, and
we need to get the right distance before she's had enough.
And she's only going to be 4, you know, she's only rising 4 now, so it's all ahead of her.
Bit of a Dan Dino trade, I think.
Yep. And the other runner, which got us all excited at the 300, and then
who rode that horse?
I was going to say Stockdale. I was going to say Cartwright. Tommy Stockdale. Look, he rode to Matt's instructions, albeit I think he might have got on the accelerator about 100 yards too early, because I'm not sure whether he's ridden a terrain before, but it is a 500 sort of metre run home, and at the 150 it was, all the tickets were out the window, the petrol tickets were gone. To the horse's credit, only got beaten about 1.5, ran 4th,
Stuck
5th.
on.
Yeah. Second up too, mile.
Anyway,
And up in grade as well.
At the 200, I had a beer ticket, so I just left and went to the bar because I could see what was going to happen here. Anyway, yeah, it just went too hard too early, and he probably got his clock running in his head. I don't think Matt Kimani was too impressed, but anyway, look, the horse is in great form. It's going well.
Absolutely.
There's a win there, very close. So if nothing else, it's had a good hit out, and it'll be tuned up and rock hard for its next start. And apart from that, what can I say?
Well, he can come back to 58 level from
What
that
we'll
was
do
a
next-
strong 64.
Yeah, we'll put it right. We'll put a jockey on it next time.
He just
I don't know where they find these blokes.
he won a Group 3 the day before. He might have been thinking he was still on it.
Did he know he was on serious deal?
Anyway, the horse ran well, I suppose, considering.
Yeah, don't ask me any more about that.
That's it, Darren.
Righto. Now, what happens?
Coming up,
Yep.
we've got Be All. We've got Never Again Tomorrow at Caulfield. His favourite track, his favourite distance.
What price is he?
Oh, look, it's in a decent race. He'd be 33 to 1, wouldn't he?
100 to 1.
Oh,
The trainers
33s.
run away.
Trainers run away.
Yeah, he's gone on holidays. He's
Well-
gone up to the Kimberley or somewhere.
Maybe Never Again is a good name for him.
What races is it?
Look, it'd be the quaddy legs, I don't know. Craig Hewitt's on, gate 3.
There it is, $51, $9 a place. Yes, good luck.
Trying to redeem some prize money for the owners. Righto, so we'll skip over that quickly. Drew well, barrier 3.
Yeah, good.
Sunday.
I'll laugh my head off if it wins.
Yeah, we'll go back and we'll just replay this bit of a preview. Sunday we may have 2 runners in the one race. Rhoda with Logan McGill and Collectible with Robbie. Collectible's second up, and she's drawn wider than Steinem around Maui. So I think they're going to wait till Sunday morning to assess scratchings, track conditions, etc, etc. But Rhoda off the back of his previous run will be a chance in that race.
That's a big call.
I said off the back if he replays the same run at Mornington, which was a third.
If the right rotor returns up,
the Swan
he
Hill
can,
rotor.
he can run a place. But anyway, I thought he's a bit of a get-back run-home horse. I wouldn't have thought Maui would be the right track. But anyway,
Well, look, if you put Collectible and him together, it's probably...
they'll be at the back,
No, but if it was a match race, you would say Collectible beat him home every time.
you would think.
Yeah, but it doesn't always work like that.
I wouldn't be holding my breath to get a collected Maui.
No. So, for the weekend, guys, look elsewhere.
Minimal interest.
Nil it.
Collectibles only having one more run. She's going to sales. Rotor is probably, if he doesn't do something soon,
He could be going to Darwin.
he'll be sold.
Filler by him.
And Never Again is only probably going to the paddock after the weekend. So
Not much to look forward
all
to.
these 3 are kind of the end of their rope. So just bring on Adelaide the week after for the Australasian Oaks.
Steinem, yeah.
And no doubt a few of these others.
And then the week after that,
Down at the
Lauderdale.
Bull, we'll have 3 or 4 down there. So going to be a little bit quiet for the next month or 2, but there'll be a couple bob up. There always is.
Found a good use for a Carlton scarf, Darren, just
Well,
to keep warm, nothing
I'm glad
else.
to see you've got your coach has got a mentor now. He needs a bit of help there. I think that's a good thing.
Fancy getting someone from Essendon. Huh?
Well, you're trading up. Anyway, Hawthorn, we're going good. Geelong are not going much better. Collingwood are going better than
We've
expected.
got a big price about the top 5 at the moment.
Wow.
Melbourne. And
Changing of the guard,
Sydney.
Pete.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to wrap it up here because we're only talking rubbish now. We've got nothing really important to say. We've got no good horses going to be ready to win. So, all in all, I don't know.
Have fun.
Enjoy the racing, enjoy the weekend, and we'll be back next week with a preview of Warrnambool, and then we'll bring you one from Warrnambool the week after. So, looking forward to the Adelaide Carnival, looking forward to the Warrnambool Carnival. I'm not sure what to expect with Warrnambool this year with the Zone 1, 2. If you are going there, I hope you've bought tickets because I believe it's capped at 12,000.
Well, Thursday, GAs are sold out.
It's all booked out, so unless you know someone. So don't just think you're going to turn up. There's no marquees.
No.
You'll be in Zone 1 and 2. Go to the website at Warrnambool Racing Club to have a look at how that works. Rug up because it's going to be freezing cold. And I'm not sure really what to expect because for years and years we've gone to Warrnambool with freelanced in and out of marquees. We've wandered wherever, but this year's going to be a little bit different, but at least the meeting's going ahead. And if you're going to go out for dinner in Warrnambool all the way down there, if you haven't booked now, you're going to be queuing up at McDonald's, I reckon, because I think the whole town's going to be booked out.
And just for our owners, if you're unsure, like with our runners, I mean, you have to go through the club protocol, but if you are a bit unsure, just get to
Ring Peter,
us.
email Peter, that's his job.
We'll sort you out.
And Brendan Saunders, please stop wrapping him up. Till next week, I'm Darren Dance with Peter Morganti. Enjoy your weekend and may your footy team beat your racehorse.